Great atmosphere at Moorabbin for the start of the match between St Kilda at home here and Richmond. Big week in the Saints' history. Fun drive last week and a very big day for them today. Rene Kink there for the Saints. Glue pot, as you can see. Umpires for the match, Brendan Carland and Peter Carey. Now, Carey gives free kick and Richmond will take. Coming out towards the members' flank and driving towards Manton on centre wing, but a good mark taken over there for the Saints by Danny Frawley. Long way out from goal, and I dare say, Barry, when you get a moment on this one, Barry Richardson, we'll see players hunting in packs because of the glue pot.
Well, it could be wetter. I thought it might have been worse out here at St Kilda, but in fact the oval condition is not too bad. Everything will fight on going here on the half-back flank area.
Yes, we picked it up too as Greg Burns gets the ball across towards David Grant, almost within scoring distance on a normal day, but it's very gluey. Good play by the Saints first up, and the mark taken across there by Paul Tomei, only 20 metres out from goal. Rioli
actually moved the ball up there pretty well, St Kilda. There was a fight going on the half-back flank, but they've moved the ball up well, and Tomei has taken as an easy shot for goal.
Well, that's the start the Saints were looking for. A goal within the first 60 seconds of play. And Maurice Rioli and Mark Gamble, the two players in question, and the Saints pretty tense and keen to do well.
I think their tactics will be fairly obvious here. They try and put it right up to Richmond. They like it out here in the tough stuff at Moorabbin.
Well, quite a few changes which we'll catch up on in just a moment in the St Kilda team, with those players named on the interchange bench: Kink, Jobling, Tomei, Nixon and Odgers placed in the 20, with injuries playing a big part. Clark has the ball smothered, Pickering at least had the ball smothered. Kink drives the Saints forward, and the mark taken by Greg Burns, again almost within scoring distance. So strong play by Greg Burns, top centre man, 2 marks within 90 seconds of the opening, and Burns believes he can make the distance. 35, 40 metres out, directly in front. Saints kicking towards the South Road end in the first term. And St Kilda doing the scoring so far. They move to 7 points. Richmond yet to score.
Fairly promising start by the Saints, actually. They've moved the ball very well in the early stages. There's a short kick by Strawn going out to Geary, who's covered a lot of ground across on the opposite wing. He also goes short, but the ball goes through to the back of the pack. A bit of scramble over there. And there'll be a throw in just forward of the centre wing, St Kilda side.
Okay, Simon Clark with Mark Lee at centre half forward. Trevor Barker, an inspiration for the Saints, gets it across to Gary Odgers, back to Barker, to centre half forward he goes. Oh, interference there, I'd have thought. Umpire Carlin called play on. Cunningham beautifully on to Burns again. He's playing great football to Lockett. Lovely pass. Saw that Lockett had the front position over Hogg. Cunningham to Burns was good play. Burns kicked the ball badly, in fact, but Lockett taking the front position has marked strongly in front of goal. Unfair to Jeff Hogg there. I see he's at centre half. Strawn playing at full-back currently on Lockett. Fires for goal. Could he miss from point-blank range? He could, but he doesn't. And so the Saints away to a flying start. Their second goal in the space of 3 minutes.
Always difficult out here at Moorabbin. The Saints quite often do this too. You come out here to Moorabbin, the ground's a bit heavy, takes a while to get into it. Richmond wouldn't want to let them get too much of a start here.
Well, some interesting positional moves. St Kilda, 13 points within 3 minutes of play at Moorabbin. They have Gamble at full-back. They've got Danny Frawley at centre half forward. Rene Kink in the team, drives them forward again. Saints doing all the attacking. Cleaning up behind for the Tigers is Noel Lovell, former Collingwood player, but the mark taken across there by Andrew Jobling. Jobling 70 metres out from goal. The ball up towards Lockett from behind Strawn. Beautifully off hands. Burns, a star so far. Third goal for the Saints. Beautiful ruck roving by Greg Burns. He's probably playing in centre, but he's spending all this time up on the forward line. And great football by them gives them the third goal.
Always a dangerous player, Greg Burns. Been a good player for St Kilda over the years, and he's certainly proving a handful in his early stages for young Hogg. Experience versus youth.
So 3 goals to St Kilda. Very interesting positional changes. They have Burns in the forward pocket with Trevor Barker in the centre. Many changes. Warren Jones now against his opponent Simon Clark, and umpire Peter Carey calls for the bounce. Just on the 5-minute mark now. Fabulous opening by St Kilda. Maybe a big week in their history. Glue pot in the centre. Umpire Carey goes up with the ball. Clark, whoops, doubtful hand pass in the direction of Poole. Now comes out towards Richard Geary. Geary towards centre half forward. The mark taken over there by Rod Owen. Owen at centre half back, beautifully smothered on the run through by John Manton, but Manton will incur a 15-metre penalty there because he came across the mark. Nice smother if Owen had chosen to play on, but that was not the case. He'll go to centre half forward. Knocked away by Barker was clever play. Oh, in goes King. That tackle will be too high, using the legs as he went in, and the free kick to be taken by Simon Clark.
Clark kicks the ball out in the direction of the big Mark Lee, but Rod Owen leading very fast there from the fence, flips the ball back. St Kilda now looking good through Collins. Simon Clark in the van. There's been a big punch out on the half-forward flank. St Kilda's goal. Boundary throw in. Lee still at centre half forward. Simon Clark taking the knockout. Oh, it's a big knock from Wow Jones. Scrambly play. I think we'll see plenty of that today. But in fact, a free kick has been pulled out and going to Lovell. Lovell balks around his opponent. Forced onto the left foot. Strong mark taken by Rod Owen. Laying on a half-forward flank, but playing in the back line. Lee incurs a 15-metre penalty. Just from behind Frawley. Once again we see Burns in the thick of things. Sorry, Barker. Blonde hair confused me there for a moment. The short kick to Lockett. Over his head. There's that man again. But on this occasion he's been penalised. Richmond run the ball quickly out through Craig Smith. Pickering penalised for jumping in the back of the St Kilda opponent. And Joffa Cunningham has the ball.
Cunningham from left half-forward flank, but in fact the free to Paul Tomei. Now he's putting it well down towards the square. Lockett, no, can't get two hands to it. Finally out of defence, Rollings goes to the boundary line. Oh, nicely kept in play. Little Brad Gotch on the bottom. Rioli now. Odgers. Rioli being held, we're not in position. And he'll take the free kick right on the 50-metre line on Richmond's left half-back flank. Plays on. Grant here. Oh, lovely mark. Hogg coming across, trying to do the right thing and punch away. Grant called on, touched on flight there. Off the ground by Rollings, close to the line. Midway between half-back flank and centre wing. Vociferous St Kilda fans. Not a large crowd at Moorabbin, but by golly, they're keen. St Kilda 19, Richmond yet to score. 8 minutes of play gone in the first term. Wow Jones goes over the top. They're so keen that he and Barker vie for possession, and a free kick against him. Well, not a bad decision. Dived on top of the ball, and John Anea to take the free.
A lot of desperation shown by Jones. He may have given the free kick away. Anea kicks up forward. All St Kilda there. There's Waitman, always a classy player. Out to his big teammate in Lee, who kicks the ball off the ground. To see St Kilda in front, moving down nicely. Ball goes to captain Trevor Barker, who has a chance to play on. Lockett on a lead. Play on called. Definitely a free kick given over there. And Burns a danger man yet again. St Kilda free in the forward line. A very nice pass to Frawley, playing at centre half forward, but in fact he has been named in the full back position. We'll have an opportunity here to see how a full back shoots for goal. He's normally a good kick in the back line. This goal would give St Kilda a very handy lead coming into the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. It's a goal. Frawley actually jabbed at that ball a little. He kicked the ball like a backman, and in fact it went straight over the goal umpire's head. It's a very handy lead for St Kilda at this stage, and Richmond won't want to let them get much further ahead.
So Danny Frawley playing centre half forward. Changes galore in the Saints lineup. Gamble at fullback. Barker in the centre. Burns forward pocket. They've been winning moves so far. Rollings takes Richmond out of the centre, with the Saints leading 25. Richmond yet to score. They haven't passed half forward yet. Kick coming across towards half forward, and Trevor Poole and Cunningham. Jeff Cunningham always happy to be involved, and out comes the notebook. Well,
I really think that was a little bit unfortunate. Both he and Poole were having a scuffle, just finding their oats at present.
Well, umpire Carland holding play up to tell Trevor Poole of the noting of numbers. Now Poole, right on that 50-metre line. The wind will come across him from right to left. It's a westerly blowing here at Moorabbin. And plenty of time being taken about this one. Ticking over to the 11-minute mark. Trevor Poole, fine player for the Tigers. Kick for goal. Well, it will come back. It will swing round. The Flyers are there, knocked free. And through for Richmond's first score. Behind to the Tigers, and that took 12 minutes in the first term to achieve. Meanwhile, St Kilda have 4-1-25.
Ball kicked out. Bauer goes high. Now dives on the ball. He has possession. And in fact has been played a free kick over there on the half forward flank. Plays on swiftly to Waitman. Waitman the danger man. Kicks forward. Been marked by Useless. Runs on his right foot. Hogg with the sit. Almost pulls the mark down. Now picked up by Rioli onto his left foot. Strong battle going on in the goal square. Punched away by Manton, but in fact it's gone to St Kilda. Free kick behind play, but they've allowed it to play on.
Well, certainly very fiery, Barry. What an opening this is. St Kilda really G'd up to do well today, as if they're not any Saturday, of course. And Mark Gamble right in the thick of things there. Certainly fisticuffs behind almost every action here. A kick behind the play. We've had 4 or 5 outbreaks, and the match is only 2 minutes old. And certainly umpires Carland and Carey with their hands full. Umpire Carland with the ball, left half forward, 50-metre mark. Warren Jones out there with big Mark Lee coming across from centre half forward. Taken by Rioli, slow to get rid of it though. Knocked away by Tomei and out of play again. So, St Kilda 4-1-25, a 4-goal break over Richmond, 1 behind so far.
I thought actually Rioli was a little slow to get rid of it. There's a throw in. Lee taking the ruck work on the forward line now. That'll be in the back to Trevor Barker. Having a reasonable year this year, Trevor Barker, finally throwing a lot of those injuries. He'll go long, down to the centre wing of St Kilda. Simon Clark in front, pushes the ball out. Handball beautifully to John Anea. He's got a paddock to run into. Handball on to Geary again. Geary with a shot at goal. I believe it's a goal by Manton. Yes, it is in fact. St Kilda had an opportunity there through Collins. Dropped the mark. And it's now a goal. Tigers needed that one badly. Coming up to the 15-minute mark of the first quarter. They've taken a while to find their feet here out at the mud of Moorabbin, and St Kilda are proving a very formidable foe.
Well, Richmond's first goal. John Manton playing full forward. Right on what you could call the halfway mark of the first term. 14.5 minutes gone. Still the Saints lead by 3 goals. And travelling pretty well. Richmond starting to get their game together, and penalty here, St Kilda's way. Trevor Barker playing centre, in for his 5th kick, and I guess he's picked up 3 frees. Rod Owen gets the hand pass on the way through. That left boot of his towards centre half forward, almost kink. Now Lockett, plenty of Saints there. Umpire Carland under pressure now. Gotch, Barker from 50 metres. The Flyers, Odgers behind Jess. Jess should get the penalty. He has. 5 metres out. Gary Odgers all over the top of Jimmy Jess. A 3-goal break, Richmond defending. And the Ghost takes it, coming across towards the members' flank. He was for a moment. And umpire Carnan with his crazy rule, trying to work it out week after week, kicking over the mark. Knocked away from Lovell. Smother at half forward. And my word, umpire Carlin certainly earning his crumbs today. Peter Carey just patrolling the centre, and Carlin forced to break up many a melee so far.
Richmond now starting to get more numbers around the ball. Simon Clark still in the ruck with Lee half forward. Out to Cunningham. Cunningham goes for a long handball, successful. Picked up by Young. The Ghost is in the way but fumbles badly. Chance for Lockett. Richmond will close it up here. They have closed it up. We'll see a free kick going to Craig Smith. A bit lucky Richmond to get out of that one. Jess fumbled. Fumbles can often be costly. Quick handball to Eustace. He'll look for Geary. Punched away brilliantly by Cunningham. To Barker, the captain. And he's goal.
Yes, the ball's come back, Barry.
Unfortunately, the ball's come back. For St Kilda. Once again, Richmond under pressure.
Oh, and umpire Carlin has got Cunningham again. Abusive language, I would think, this time. Boy, poor old Jeff, he's really G'd up, isn't he?
He's not having a good day so far, Jeffrey. Geary with the ball. Richmond still needing to do something positive. It's been all St Kilda this first quarter. Not much movement up forward from Richmond. Now short to Eustace. He'll play on, under pressure. Gets his kick away. Bauer misses the mark, taken by Poole on the left foot. You see Johnny Annear in the race for the ball. Handball to Manton. Manton didn't have a left foot on that occasion. Just kicked the ball out of bounds on the ball.
Well, a spirited opening, and St Kilda really on the receiving end of some pummelling up there on the forward line of Richmond, and also for old Jeff Cunningham in the book twice. Chance there for Clark. Knocks it close to the line. St Kilda defending pretty well through Nixon. Back towards half back for them, and the mark taken across there again by John Manton. Gee, he's playing well. Attempted mark by Pickering. Scrambly football. We'll see that as the pattern of the day. Odgers now to May. Close to the line he'll go. He really had nothing further forward apart from David Grant and 3 Richmond players. Grant intercepts. Down towards centre field. Burns reading it nicely behind, though. It's Craig Smith, and he goes out wide, looking for Rawlings. Ball out of play. So scrambly football, spoiling what has been a pretty good opening under these muddy conditions at Moorabbin.
Throw it on the centre wing. Clark, scooped out by Richmond. Big Wow Jones grabs the ball, pushes it forward. Oh, playing well, Barker. Danny Frawley, playing to pull back, playing at centre half forward, giving the Ghost a bit of a worry here.
3 marks Lockett, to Frawley.
Lockett calling for the ball, but in fact it's gone. Oh, it's a great mark. It's a great mark taken by the captain, Trevor Barker. Gee, he's in great form. Around about 35 yards out from goal, straight in front. He's had 7 kicks in this first quarter, Barker. And it's looked like the Barker of old. Concentrating on the ball. And he's put that one through too. Richmond will have to do something about Barker, I would suggest. He's had 7 kicks in this first quarter and has looked highly dangerous. So we see the score going St Kilda 5 goals 1 to Richmond's 1 goal 1. So they have a very good, handy 4-goal lead, the Saints. They're certainly approaching this game with a lot of spirit.
Five single goal scorers so far for the Saints as they lead by 4 clear goals over Richmond. Richmond really have only been on their true forward line about 3 times. They come forward now. Trevor Poole working hard there. Just beyond the 50-metre mark. There's a chance for him to score from here. He's going to land it with Mark Lee. Oh, bad judgment there. Allowed Lee in for the easiest of marks. He showed superb judgment, but the fly was just a little bit early from the St Kilda defender, and so Mark Lee only 15 metres out. Angle is slight. Tempers are willing and frayed at present. Saints will just have to watch it because they're playing the better football. Mark Lee, second goal to Richmond, and that at the 21-minute mark of this first term.
Richmond looked a little bit better then as they brought the ball forward. Poole with a nice side step and kick to Lee. May have been a little bit lucky. He waited for the ball instead of going forward to take the mark, but was helped by some bad judgment by Rod Owen. Ruck contest again. The ball put down in the centre. Clark gets a knockout. Richmond go forward. Quick kick out of the centre. Bow will take the mark. Not paid, not far enough. Goes again to the danger man, Burns. Sidesteps nicely. It's a short pass out to Lockett. Lockett has the ball in front of him. Moves well for a big man. And very unselfishly shoots the ball forward to Jobling. Well played by Lockett. Doesn't look to be moving all that fast, but in fact did that with great skill. Jobling running down from the wing, takes an easy mark on his chest, in range of a goal that he should not miss. He'll be happy with that. Another goal to St Kilda, which takes them to 6-1, still holding that 4-goal lead over the Tigers.
So Andrew Jobling adds his name to the goal-scoring list, and 6 goal scorers for the Saints. And in fact, Richmond's 2 have been individual scores as well. So everybody getting to the slice of the action. Burns knocks the Saints forward again. Here comes little Brad Gotch. Good defence though by Craig Smith. Smith back towards centre wing. Fine tussle there. Ricky Nixon and Trevor Poole, and Poole earns the wrath of Peter McConville. And St Kilda could easily have lost possession there. Nixon. Again to Lockett, whose confidence is sky high, and so is he. Over the pack, chance for Barker. Oh, a raffle. Grant, goal! Goal number 7. His 4th kick, and he becomes the Saints' 7th goal scorer. 7 individual goal scorers and a 5-goal margin.
The fact that they have scored 7 individual goals shows the keenness of the St Kilda side. And a player who's doing very well for them here is Danny Frawley, playing in centre half forward, a position he's probably unaccustomed to, but he was in fact responsible for that goal also. Ball put down by umpire Carland. Taken by Simon Clark. Jones didn't compete. Kick off the ground by Clark. McConville using his experience. Rioli tackled hard. They have been lucky to get that free kick. Nevertheless, he's got it. Plays onto his left foot. Waitman to Poole. Strongly marked by Owen, playing well down in defence.
Rod Owen in the back pocket, members flank. And aren't the members keen today? Wow Jones. Eustace. Poole, busy player for the Tigers, as you'd expect, week after week, really puts in. Plenty of Saint defenders here. Owen has the ball kicked away by Mark Lee, and he'd be close to be penalised there, close to the boundary line. Eustace, could be a goal coming up. It's into the square, but nobody at home. Waitman will lead in the race for it. Takes it inside the boundary line. Great smother by Saints defenders though, and they bottle up play about 10 metres around from the left behind post. Still St Kilda lead by 5 goals, edging up towards the time on period. 24 minutes on. Waitman quickly tackled. Now Eustace again. Fine goal sneak, but the mark taken by Gamble there in front of Manton, right in the last line of defence. Now he's going to be called back 15 metres, Manton, for pushing that ball out of Gamble's hands. A little bit of respite because he was right on the line. And the mark taken over there by Bradley Gotch. So Gotch on half-back flank, outer side, the wind favouring that side, but because the ball's getting so muddy now, there's no real benefit to that breeze. Gary Frangalis in the Tigers lineup, former Swan. I just wonder whether he'd prefer to be back in Sydney than down here at Moorabbin in the mud. Nice mark taken by Paul Tomei. Quickly plays on. Peter McConville, the Saints' most consistent player this year. Nixon, Jeff Cunningham, been the bad boy with the umpires so far. Rene King beyond the 50-metre mark. Half-forward flank, he'll wait for the lead from Lockett. It's coming now, but the kick will be short. And as a consequence, the interception there by the big fellow, Simon Clark at centre half-back. Time on period, first quarter at Moorabbin.
Richmond play on through Pickering. Pickering covering a lot of ground from the forward line. Goes out to Waitman. Punched away well by Collins. Waitman still in possession. Knocks the ball out to Bauer. Torpedo punt going in where Manton bustles for possession. Could have been a free kick. They have been a little bit unlucky there. Rod Owen seemed to me to be legged. But nevertheless, Mark Lee with the ball. About 45 metres out from goal. The Tigers will be looking towards their captain to put this one through. Taking a lot of time, realising how important this goal is. Plenty of air. The land in the goal square. An easy shot there, actually, missed by Waitman. Just unlike him. St Kilda keen to play on. Not able to kick because of the goal umpire not waving the flags. Now a long kick down the centre.
Tomei's been a busy player, Barry, so far. I'll get your comment the next chance we can. 4 kicks so far. He's worked pretty hard on the ball. Knocked away. Tigers trying hard through Rawlings to come forward. Back to him again. Oh, he loses possession very quickly. Gosh, that was like a hot cake for Barry Rawlings. Not good play. They need a lot of perseverance. There's one player who does. That's Poole in the direction of Hogg. And Rick Nixon there, caught high, takes the penalty, plays on, just to whom I don't know. Kink will have to do the work. Taken away nicely by Frangalis to centre half forward. Come back McConville. He does. Does it well too. Or bad interception, or a good interception, bad hand pass. Eustace, Manton. Was he playing on? We'll leave that to you. The crowd thought so. So did plenty of St Kilda players around, Rod Owen included. But John Manton, given the benefit of the doubt, angle sharper than 45 degrees, distance 25 metres, in for kick number 3. He has one of Richmond's 2 goals so far. They trail by just under 5. That's 5 goals. 14 points to 43. Close to siren time, although there has been a couple of hold-ups in play first quarter. Manton, yes, he becomes the first dual goal scorer for the match. John Manton 2 goals, Mark Lee 1 for the Tigers, and that's their 3rd.
Kilda would have been disappointed with that passage of play. They had possession of the ball, round about centre half-back position. An easy handball, came astray, and we saw Manton being in a position upfield for a relatively easy kick at goal. He did well though, he put it through for the Tigers' 3rd.
Is the man who's had his hands full in more ways than one, Brendan Carland in the first quarter. Peter Carey being given an armchair ride comparatively because Carland brought the notebook out a couple of times. Big Simon Clark being given the task of rucking today over onto the flank. Jobling intercepts though. Drives beautifully. Down to David Grant. Marks between right half forward and centre wing in front of the time clock, which shows 30 minutes gone for kick number 5. Burns. He was the dynamo that got St Kilda going early on. the penalty taken by John Anir. Reason simple, caught too high. Cunningham behind Geary. Poole. Umpire Carey calls for the bounce. Scoreboard shows St Kilda with a 23-point margin, 7-1-43, Richmond 3-2-20, close to siren time.
Jones, a big knock. Knocked back in turn by Rawlings. A little bit of luck goes to Geary. Quick kick, goes to the Ghost, moved up to centre half forward. Jess will kick long, sees Manton in the square. We have 2 against 1. Manton in front and will be paid the mark. Rightly so. He's done well this year, John Manton. He's playing in the forward line. He's a big spring. He's been a very handy player for Richmond. We have a 15-minute penalty. 15-metre penalty, I should say. And we'll give Manton a chance to kick his 3rd goal. Taking plenty of time. And kicks truly. Richmond have done well in the time-on period, kicking a couple of goals and settling down out here in the Moorabbin mud.
So 3 goals to John Manton, 1 to Mark Lee. That scoreboard looking healthier, Barry. Six scoring shots to Richmond, 8 to St Kilda. Margin 17 points. So Jess back to centre half back now after a spell on the forward zone, which resulted really in that Manton goal, his 3rd. Come back now through Brendan Bauer, who was put down, but I thought fairly. And what a 15-metre penalty. So umpiring just a little bit curious. Umpire Carlin really under pressure. Tigers looking healthier now as the siren sounds to end the first quarter, which went 31 minutes. And the quarter time scoreboard, 7-1-43 St Kilda. All single goal scorers. Richmond, 3 goals to John Manton, 4-2-26. Second quarter at Moorabbin, St Kilda holding a 17-point advantage. That could have been more had Richmond not come back well in the time-on period of the first term. Saints playing well in the mud. Held not in possession. Paul to May in one of many changes to the St Kilda lineup. We'll bring you up to date with that in just a moment. Trevor Poole, nice mark. 2 of the stars in the first quarter. Poole for Richmond, Barker for St Kilda. Mark, Jeff Cunningham appeared to have his number taken twice in the first term, 1 for abusive language to the umpire. Out wide he goes, looking for David Grant. High, but from behind. Poole there in the thick of things. Little Bradley Gotch pummels it out in the direction of Barker. Almost a scoop throw. To centre half forward he goes. Frawley playing at centre half forward for the Saints was the target. Close to the line and out of play. Dean knotting on after quarter time. Scoreboard shows St Kilda 7-1-43, Richmond 4-2-26. St Kilda, 3 players dropped out of the selected 23. They were Keel, Peter Budge and Lamb.
Picked up by Geary of Richmond, off the side of the boot. We see Owen now wearing number 60. Changed his customary number 27.
5th kick for
back.
Sorry, Barry. 5th kick for Rod Owen, incidentally.
Ball holding up in the wind a bit out there. We see the ball in the half-forward flank area for Richmond. The breeze seems to be favouring Richmond in this quarter. Perhaps one of the reasons why St Kilda got such a good start, kicking 7-1. Boundary throw in. Jones with strength. Cunningham. Out of bounds again. We see Jones and Simon Clark doing the ruck work for the respective sides. A near left-hand handball. Punched forward by St Kilda. Renee Kink playing reasonably well. Geary. Hogg. Lee, push Gamble out, now taken by Rioli onto his right foot. Richmond had their chance but messed it up. Jones showing the speed of a small man. Long hand pass. Joffa Cunningham. Hand pass in turn to Collins. St Kilda on the run. Lockett. Nice ball movement by the Saints. Lockett about 35 yards out from goal. Normally a very reliable kick. The Saints would like to see him put this one through to continue on their good work from the first quarter. Chance of the first quarter number 2. Oh, he's a strong kick, Lockett. That's a great goal. Been impressed so far with the endeavour of St Kilda. Obviously a lot of what happened during the week has made them a very strong combination, and I think that'll be the pattern of the day.
So a flying start for the Saints. They've almost doubled Richmond's score, 49-26. Umpire Carland. Barker, one of the prime motivators for St Kilda in the first term, where he had 9 possessions in the first quarter. Out wide it goes, looking for Greg Burns, who started off in the forward pocket. Barker in the centre. Bradley Gotch. Gotch up towards Kink. He's out of position. Chance there for Frank Garlis to take it. St Kilda penalty. Going to be taken by Danny Frawley. Playing at centre half forward today. Normally almost within scoring distance. 50 metres out for kick number 5. Lockett the target. Penalty against him though. Free kick. Taken by Smith. Craig Smith, centre half back, he comes to with that aid of the 15-metre penalty. Goes out wide looking for Jess. Cunningham off hands. Can he break the tackle? He can. Darryl Cunningham. Now Gotch again roaming out towards the half forward line. Can't handle the ball cleanly. And a chance there for Noel Lovell to come away dangerously across goal. And the interception's there. Mark taken by Jobling. Fires for goal and he's offline. Way offline. Had all the opportunities in the world there because he had assistance, had no pressure, and unfortunately for the Saints, one of their few inaccuracies so far. 8-2 to 4-2, 4 goals the difference after 5 minutes second term.
Kick off by Strawn after that comedy of errors. Little Bradley Gotch forced to contest the ball over his head. Was knocked forward by Richmond to the half forward flank out of bounds. Throw in. Clark in position. Big knockout. Oh, a strong mark taken by Craig Smith. Running with the flight of the ball is never much fun. Rollings going to his left foot. Bauer does it well. Kicks poorly to May.
Trevor Poole in trouble there.
St Kilda moving the ball well. Barker covering a lot of territory. Poole in trouble. Renee Kink missed what he should have taken. Eustace, big kick getter for Richmond this year. Nixon playing well in defence. He'll kick long. Kink again, this is one that he should have held. To May. Lovell, a quick kick out of the pack. St Kilda in front of their opponents. Burns has done well. St Kilda desperate. To May again. Lockett with a chance. Battles hard, but gives away a free kick to Straw.
7 minutes gone in this second quarter. Plenty of action at Moorabbin. Very enthusiastic crowd. Most enthusiastic St Kilda team. To May in the thick of things. Jeff Cunningham. Hand passes to no one in particular. He was on the way down as he tried to thread the hand pass away. Barry Rollings, he's made a lot of errors so far, but picks up lovely kick. Oh, Ricky Nixon. Great mark. Beautiful mark at the 7-minute mark of the second term. Came across from Carlton. Mark number 3 today. A beautiful mark this time. Kink, at last. He's found the ball like a cake of slippery soap so far, but finds Greg Burns within scoring distance 35 metres out. It's his 4th mark. Very busy player. Lined up in the forward pocket today with skipper Barker in the centre. In for his 6th kick. Phil Narkle with the helmet there on the boundary line. He'll be on as soon as Greg Burns goals, not at Burns' expense, I wouldn't imagine. Burns close into the square. The Richmond defenders choosing to punch the ball away there through Lovell mainly. Oh, well done to May. He's been just about St Kilda's best, certainly for endeavour, and a ball up here as the pack converges on top of him, about 45 metres out from goal. Difference 4 goals. St Kilda in the ascendancy here after 7 minutes, or 8 minutes now. Umpire Carland. Burns went high. Comes down to Mark Eustace. He'll hug the boundary line. Wow Jones, nice interception on centre wing.
Playing quite well, Wow Jones, suited by the heavy conditions. The kick on that occasion not so good. Punch clear by Clark. Owen, wearing number 60, battles hard. Eustace, quick handball. Left foot by Rawlings, but St Kilda playing in front in the back line. Waitman will be penalised, tackling too high, and the experienced McConville will take the kick.
Bit unfair, Barry.
It's the way the umpire saw it, David. Taken well off the pack by Darryl Cunningham. Left foot pass, going to Lockett. Ball's gone through, chance for Kink. Narkle, brilliant. Will take the free kick. Kink had the chance there of the kick off the ground. Perhaps wasn't spoken to well enough by his St Kilda teammates. As a result, hurried that kick. But we have Narkle now deep in the forward pocket. On the wrong side for a right footer, so I would suggest he'd be looking for a pass to someone. St Kilda forward line now making some moves. It's a fantastic kick by Narkle. Umpire could almost have paid the mark, but in fact has chosen to pay the free kick, and we'll see Burns have yet another shot for goal. He's been a good player in the St Kilda forward line. It's been a good move by Jelly. He should know every inch of this Moorabbin ground, Burns. It's his 7th kick. Disappointment. Perhaps should have done a little better with that one.
Now Jimmy Jess at fullback. Scoreline shows St Kilda 8-3, 51, Richmond 4-2, 26. And umpire Carlin just holding play up. Trevor Barker. Hello, there's another to do here at half forward for St Kilda. Mark Gamble there again. Burns got a headlock on a Richmond player. Narkle's in there. Umpire Carlin trying to get in. I thought that umpires were instructed to stay out of it.
One of those times, Dave, where it's nice to be old and retired, I think, when you see a bit of a melee like that.
Well, even the goal umpire came down. Boundary umpire just flanking it to see just what went on. But umpire Carlin had the notebook out twice for Jeff Cunningham in the first quarter. And perhaps he might have been just a little bit eager there. Could easily have got a nice, nasty punch had one been thrown with his head deep in that pack. Now the ghost, Jimmy Jess, towards Member's flank. Greg Burns, just a little lack of endeavour there by the Richmond players. They didn't seem to want the ball. Burns, hurried kick. He was rushed into it and then just a half a metre too slow in getting boot to ball. St Kilda 51, Richmond 26. That's after 11 minutes, second term at Moorabbin.
A lot of chances in Kilda, but they've frittered away with bad kicking. Frawley, intercepted by Jess. Goes to Kink, shows strength. Oh, it's a great goal by Kink. On his left foot, he's made a few mistakes, but he's also played pretty well. That's a real lifter. Like Renee Kink can give the young St Kilda side an enormous lift. With his experience, he did very well on that occasion.
So what a break this is. St Kilda, a 5-goal lead, plus 1 point, 57-26. Kick number 5 for Rene Kink, his first goal, and certainly a candidate for the goal of the day. That was a beauty. Lovely snap, and let's hope things start to run a little smoother for him now. Rioli, runs slap dab into McConville. A bad penalty paid downfield. McConville had no option but to go at Rioli there, right on the kick. It wasn't after the delivery, and a penalty is paid downfield and will be taken across there by big Simon Clark. That's bad umpiring.
I really agree with you there, David. I think he had absolutely no chance of doing anything else. Coaches are instructed to have their players put pressure on. We have Simon Clark with a kick for goal, and he's kicked that goal. Richmond might count themselves a little bit lucky on that one. What I think was an unfortunate umpiring decision. I'd call it over umpiring, but nevertheless the score registers, much to the ire of the crowd out here at Moorabbin. Ball being relayed back to the centre. We've seen D Notting on a half-forward flank, still with very clean shorts. McConville, his opponent. And once again we see Wow Jones against now Mark Lee into the ruck.
Bounce centre field. Sorry, Barry. All very keen down here. You can certainly sense the atmosphere as Barker again lifts St Kilda out of the centre. Great play by the skipper. Umpire Carlin comes in and there'll be a bounce here just as the pack was breaking up. So perhaps a little bit overawed, Umpire Carlin. Does St Kilda have still a 25-point margin here, 57-32, and that's on the halfway mark of the second term. 14.5 minutes gone. Waitman, perhaps the best of the Rovers so far, beyond Geary that time. Taken away well by Tomei, and still Mark Lee and Wow Jones having a dust-up behind play. Narkle looks for Cunningham with the pass. Kicked off by Wally Lovell, close to the line now and out of play. That's on centre wing in front of the time clock and the big scoreboard on the outer flank at Moorabbin.
We see Lee and Jones now not up with the ruck because having a scuffle behind play. The two dinosaurs go for it again. Lee on this occasion gets a knockout to a near, plays it safe, kicks off the ground. Half forward flank for Richmond, but it's out of bounds again. Safety first is the order of the day here. Johnny Near did the right thing. Boundary throw in. Manton takes the ruck against a hard-working Jones. Scrambly play. Eustace under pressure. And rightly the free kick paid against him. Play on to Cunningham. Kicks badly. Taken by Frangalis. Goes long. Nodding behind his opponent, the experienced McConville.
You'll notice number 60 there for St Kilda. That's Rod Owen, who had his number 27 totally obliterated and a very wet Guernsey in the first turn. Darryl Cunningham coming out of defence. Has Owen going past. Nice football by St Kilda. The short pass putting Greg Burns under pressure from Bauer. Rioli comes wide. Mark taken over here by Manton, who's way down from the forward line on centre wing. He's kicked 3 goals for them. McConville. Well done, Wow Jones. Let the informed man go for that ball. He doesn't make too many errors. Out wide he'll go. Gamble has it knocked away. I doubt whether that was the right passage to choose by McConville. He could have gone straight downfield. Eustace really wastes a kick. High looking for Notting. McConville. Front position. Notting, if he's going to kick goals, he'll have to grab that front spot from McConville, who uses his body so well. St Kilda 57, Richmond 32 after 17 minutes. Second term, lazy sunshine, you could say, at Moorabbin.
Rather weak sunshine. Once again, we see Jones working hard in the ruck. Ball flipped out. Geary. Notting. Rod Owen fumbles. Might be costly. Quick kick by Rioli. Doesn't make the distance. We see Darryl Cunningham coming across goal. Kicks dangerously towards the centre, but a fine mark taken by Cunningham. It'll be a 15-metre penalty, but Cunningham doesn't opt to take it. St Kilda on the run. Had a lot of the play, St Kilda making a few too many errors. On this occasion the hand pass is good to Collins. Out to Barker. Long kick by Barker. Two Richmond players. St Kilda battling hard. Frawley took a while to get rid of it, but not penalised. The Ghost sinks his boot into it and goes long. Manton a long way away from his opponent in Rod Owen. Handball goes to Pickering, who covers a lot of territory. Short kick and the mark is paid. May have been slightly controversial to Lee. When you're 6'7" or thereabouts, you can stretch a long way on the ground or in the air. Lee has a chance to kick this. He certainly should make the distance with the aid of a slight breeze. About 40 metres from goal. Went for a bit too much distance, I think, and has dragged it across his body, resulting in a hook on the left-hand goal post. Sorry, the left-hand behind post.
Richmond only scoring 1 goal so far in this term. St Kilda have 2. They've stretched their lead from 17 points to 24. 17 points at quarter time. That was the margin. Their defence is pretty stern. Yeah, back right into the pack. St Kilda fans don't like it. Barry Rawlings does. He's applauding that decision. And the free kick will be taken over there. There's no doubt about that. It's only 30 metres out. The big fellow comes back, Simon Clark, to take the shot for goal. His 5th kick. He's worked pretty hard, Barry, in ruck with Mark Lee at centre-half forward and full forward.
Very promising player, actually, David. He's one of those young players Richmond are using this year, and he's certainly acquitted himself well. Kick for goal. Once again, he's dragged it too. A couple of opportunities gone begging there for the Tigers. They'll be disappointed with that. They've been under pressure in this game. You need those goals to come more easily. Beautiful kick out from full-back by Nixon. Fumble. Flipped onto the Waitman. Oh, he's a wonderful player, Waitman, a wonderful player. But on this occasion has kicked a point. Array behind, hit the behind post.
So 1-3 their tally so far, and that's a bad kick-off by Nixon. Notting would have received the free kick without the spectacular dive, but let's credit him with the mark. Certainly good perseverance there by Dean Notting. Deep to the pocket. Good mark, Clark. He's causing Rick Nixon a few headaches. No, it's not Clark, it's Terry Smith. Terry Smith, one of the interchange players, didn't take the field in the first quarter from my memory, but certainly deep in the pocket here. This is in fact his first kick. Had a season or two, Barry, down at St Kilda and chose to go back to Richmond. After that, kick for goal. It's offline. No flutters of black and yellow flags behind, so that shocking work in front of goal continues by the Tigers. They could have scored 4 goals quite easily from those set shots. 57 plays 36 now. It's still St Kilda by 21 points. Jobling, whoops, just given the benefit of the doubt there. The tackling by Richmond is much better now. Bauer on to Waitman, within scoring distance now, if he can straighten up. No, he couldn't. He had to get round the player. Eustace going across. Well done, Darryl Cunningham. Down through centre-half back. Manton being met by a couple of St Kilda players. Rene King can go wide and does to Jeff Cunningham. He has to go back 360 degrees. Bluey ball in the mud spot there. Over the top comes Richard Geary, and the umpire calls for the bounce. This is umpire Carlin, just wide of centre, with St Kilda slightly in attack. They've had 12 scoring shots to 11, but lead by 21 points after 23 minutes of this second term.
Throwing the ball up on this occasion. Jones and Lee. Jones playing very strongly out here at Moorabbin. He's really putting in his big wow. Throw up again. Lee gets a ride. May have been penalised. Rangala's had his kick smothered. Out to the veteran in Rawlings, short kick. Rioli goes to the left foot, his favoured side. But once again we see the experienced McConville. Bauer in front. Redwell off the pack by St Kilda. And as a result of being in front, we'll get the free kick. Hodges with the ball. Play on called. Free kick to Collins. Placed the ball well, but in fact has gone straight to Craig Smith. St Kilda letting themselves down with their field kicking. Rawlings left foot. Big Wow Jones could have been paid the mark. We see Terry Smith too slow to get rid of it. Nodding. Kicks strongly. It's a one-out contest. Big man could almost have been paid the mark down there in Simon Clark. But umpire Carey has chosen a ball up.
This bounce about 25 metres out from the Richmond goal. And all the attacking in the last 10 minutes really hasn't been beyond centre line in that period. St Kilda have had their chances, but it's been blocked by the half back line of Richmond, and some indecisive forward work by St Kilda, but Richmond not able to capitalise. They've only scored that 1 goal to 2 in this term. Still looking down the barrel, 21 points, the difference. Wow Jones, over the top, Eustace. Oh, well done, Darryl Cunningham. Last line of defence, he's defending Brandley, and then a rather indiscriminate, lazy shot, and Peter McConville telling him off in certain terms. He really had no one to kick to, but he needn't have gone that close to the line because it was a penalty. Now Eustace. Rawlings, been a fine player in this term. Darryl Cunningham, let's see if he can make amends. He certainly does on the ground. Well done. He comes out wide. Oh, but boy, bad disposal again, and Brendan Bowers there to take the mark. Certainly taking the points over Andrew Jobling. 15-metre penalty applied by umpire Carlin. 30 now. Brings Bauer to within 50 metres of goal. Short pass, bad one. Mark Lee can't grab it. Well, I don't think the umpiring's helping this match at all. Penalty here. Eustace to take it. 30 metres out, 35 let's say, and directly in front.
On that occasion, the umpire certainly pulled one out there, much to the displeasure of the St Kilda crowd. But as a result of that, Eustace now has a chance to score. Richmond have frittered away many opportunities. This is Eustace's 11th kick. Been a big kick getter for Richmond in this season. Take plenty of time. Once again, well offline. They may rue their inaccuracy later on in this term. Strong kick by Gamble. Good mark for Conville. Plays on. Oh, almost a highlight, that one. A brilliant one-hand mark taken by the great Trevor Barker. Burns, been dangerous, plays on, has a running kink. Not running quite fast enough for mine. Onto the left foot. Quick kick by Rawlings. Cunningham in front. Back to Darryl Cunningham, being a great player in this term, on the left foot. Lockett had a big chance. Kink. Chances went begging there for Rene Kink and Tony Lockett. Desperate football, but unable to get it through those goals. We see a ball up.
Rene's disgusted, Barry. Just a little bit slow moving. Throw in the air here by the umpire. Lockett figures that he can grab it from ruck and have a quick snap for goal. Only 5 metres out, but couldn't quite do that. Decision was a good one. Barry Rawlings surrenders the ball. Just about Richmond's best collector in this term. And about kicks, but he certainly had the ball a lot of times. Noel Lovell not able to break clear. Now Rene, you can make amends. Tomei from 20 metres out. It's come back. It's a goal. Paul Tomei's second goal. St Kilda's 10th, their third for the quarter, against one by Richmond.
Well, Kink's made a lot of errors in this game, but he's also done a lot of good things, and I suppose that is Rene Kink through and through. Throughout his career, he's been a wonderful player on occasions and a much maligned player on others, but his strength is adding something to St Kilda's side. They're inexperienced, and I think it must give them a lot of heart to see the big fellow starting to fire. Bounce of the ball. Jones gets a knockout. Doesn't go anywhere much. Richmond onto it. Eustace handballs in the air. Knocked on by Tomei. Notting and Cunningham. Cunningham wins out. Will take the free kick, Cunningham, and a 15-metre penalty as Terry Smith kicks the ball away. Having mixed fortunes today, Cunningham. Been reported on 2 occasions, but has his 6th kick. Is now bringing himself into the play with strong play. A wobbly old punt. Terry Smith unable to get it away. It's a scramble. Oh, nice hands by Narkle. Kicks the ball out to Lockett. Bauer. And the quarter finishes with St Kilda 10 goals 3, 63 points. The Richmond 5 goals 7, 37.
Set for a start, third term at Moorabbin, with St Kilda extending a 17-point advantage at quarter time to 26 points at half-time. Wow Jones against Mark Lee. Lee not rucking in the first term except when the ball went up forward. But now he's been thrown into the centre bounce at the expense of Simon Clark. St Kilda coming forward as they did in the first terms. Kicked off the ground by Greg Strawn, out of play on the full. Notice that Trevor Barker, Barry Richardson, has moved out of the centre now. Greg Burns is in the forward pocket, so Burns is not in the centre. Probably Phil Narkle or John Collins, perhaps. 7th kick for Jeff Cunningham. He certainly squares it. Off hands, Frawley, snap into the pocket, Burns. Oh, what a fine mark.
Oh, that was a great mark, wasn't it, from Burns? He's been a good player all day, and he's starting off his 3rd quarter as though he really means business again. That's his 6th kick, sorry, his 6th mark, in fact.
Danny Frawley playing at half forward today. An interesting move by the Saints selectors. Usual fullback, a very stern fullback too. But attention with Greg Burns. He has 1 goal so far, runs round the mark, goal!
What a great kick from Burns. He's been a real good player for St Kilda today. Experienced player, and I think it's terribly important for these St Kilda experienced players to show the way to a lot of the young players in their side. Very important goal. It kicks them on to 11 goals now. Richmond's 5-7. Puts them in a strong position with the aid of a slight breeze here in this 3rd quarter.
Umpires at Moorabbin. Umpire Carland and Carey, and Carland certainly had his hands full in a fiery first term. Took the pencil and notebook out a couple of times. Jeff Cunningham on the receiving end. Gary Odgers goes down, Rioli on top, although I thought that was the interpretation of the umpire, but Rioli for mine came in from the side. Never mind, Gary Odgers towards Lockett. Off hands, Burns, oh, a socker there might have put the ball. Umpire Carey called upon to bounce this ball 20 metres out. The St Kilda fans really revved up. A big week in St Kilda's history after fantastic monetary support last week on appeal. Last Sunday, $120,000 raised for the Ailing Club. Lockett, Waitman, Burns is in there too. Smith, Craig Smith threw it out. But Waitman before that has the free kick for a St Kilda throw. So Waitman towards the members' flank. Darryl Cunningham from behind. Chance there for Geary, can't take possession. Eustace. Now Lovell. Jess, half-back flank. St Kilda fans don't like him. Can't remember why. Nice pass in towards centre, and that was Geary. Notice that Poole is off the ground for Richmond. He missed most of the 2nd quarter too with a leg injury. St Kilda 69, playing Richmond 37. That's after 3 minutes of this 3rd term at Moorabbin.
Lee coming in with Jones. Lee gets a knock, hits it towards Richmond's goals. Owen to Cunningham. Caught. Gets his kick in. Nixon under pressure from Notting. The ball goes over the boundary line. Richmond's half-forward flank. Once again, we see Lee and Jones to do battle. Lee gets the knock, scrambly play. I think the umpire has no option but to ball that one up. St Kilda side very desperate. It's a throw up, in fact. Lee jumped into Jones, and Jones will take the free kick. Played a very good game today, Wow Jones. Played very strongly, has rucked in fact tirelessly. Ungainly kicking style, but effective enough. And goes to Grant. Grant will try and play on towards Kink. Knocked on by Kink to Tomei. Handball is good. Burns. Burns to Frawley. Shows strength, but he's caught. Play on call, the advantage rule. To Cunningham. Inaccurate by Cunningham. Hodges a chance. Handball and Narkle with bad skills. And as a result, Richmond take the ball away. St Kilda a golden opportunity, but now the ball is transferred up to St Kilda's half-forward line, just behind the centre square. You see a throw-up again. Lee having a fair bit to do with the knockouts. Darryl Cunningham shows speed. Well tackled by Lee.
As Darryl caught high there, Barry, as he went through that tackle by Mark Lee. 8th kick for him. Hand pass is good. John Collins, former North Melbourne player. Lovely kick. Wide out to the pocket though. Barker edged out by Craig Smith. And no, the mark's been allowed. Certainly was the edge there. Back towards Tomei, who's played a grand game for St Kilda. Greg Burns. Oh, dummies the hand pass, then had nowhere to go. He'll look for Gary Hodges. Rioli coming the other way, beautifully picked up. Lovely football. Barry Rawlings and Nia Rawlings. Good football, Tigers. Best of the day from them. And a fine short pass. Good delivery, but the mark taken by Rick Nixon. Ricky Nixon back towards Jeff Cunningham, in that direction anyway. Players perplexed when the ball went high off hands. Waitman. They've taken the points round the packs through Rawlings and Waitman. Geary, McConville at centre half-back. Score, St Kilda 69, Richmond 37 after 6 minutes of the third term.
McConville's kick missed by Tomei, had a chance, but Grant now a chance to break loose. There's a lead from Lockett. And successfully done. The big fellow moved with good speed then. Unselfishly goes for the short into Narkle. Narkle a golden opportunity to score for the Saints and register their 12th goal. On about a 45-degree angle, only 30 metres out. Stabs at the ball. And in fact didn't follow through with that one. Poor kick by Narkle. And Richmond let off the hook.
Greg Strawn with the ball. Phil Narkle only came on off the interchange bench in the second term. St Kilda starting the match without Peter Keel, John Peter Budge and Jamie Lamb from the 23 selected. Mark Lee high over there, and he gets the push anyway according to umpire Carlin, but almost took a mark on a day like today with the ball so gluey. McConville high, so was that. Should have been paid. 3 attempts. Jess. Waitman, tries to barge his way through, must be penalised, and is. Cunningham called to play on, advantage rule. Kink. 30 metres out. Nobody standing the mark. The long kick for goal is through. Second goal to Rene Kink from his 9th kick. He's been a hard worker.
He has been a hard worker. He's played some very good passages of play, Rene Kink, today. He's made a few errors, but he's always a dangerous player. And he's certainly a player that Richmond need to contain if they're to go on and win this game. And is a game that's starting to slip away from them. You see the score at St Kilda 12-4. Richmond 5-7. I think the coach's box, Tony Jewell, will be starting to worry a bit at this stage of the game.
Well, umpire Carey with the ball back in centre, and that margin now, which was 26 points at half-time, 2 quick goals by the Saints in 7 minutes of play. As Wow Jones has dumped back in centre. Greg Burns, Frawley there too, and a Richmond player grabbed high will take the free kick. John O'Neill only 3 kicks so far for the game. Gets it on to Craig Smith out there on centre wing, and a lovely stabbing pass, but the interception's there again. St Kilda defence too good, and that's Jobling. 76-37, that's a 39-point advantage now St Kilda's way. So 6.5 goals, and Richmond, which was 2 games outside the 5 until today, really needed to win this match to really keep what slim chances they had alive. Terry Smith goes out wide. Oh, lack of desperation there by Frangalis. He comes back onto it now. Pretty long. St Kilda fans are very keen. Pickering loses possession. The umpire will not be popular. Rod Owen. Oh, well, that was almost deliberately out of bounds. But the not terribly popular umpire, Carlin, never has been. From the first siren today, as Jeff Cunningham comes back, trudges back to his centre wing position. Jones over the top, looking for Narkle, but there's Rioli. Jones, oh, socket off the ground by Eustace. Grant beautifully on to Narkle. Luck's a fortune, in fact it was Tomei. Narkle's down behind play, Lock at the mark, and will be paid the free kick anyway.
Playing very strongly St Kilda at this 10-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. I think they can sense they have a real chance of victory here. And they're putting everything into it. Lockett with a very good opportunity to score. With a sharp shooting full forward, it's one that he should be able to handle. You can see the 50-metre mark behind him there on screen. Well, luck didn't quite go his way, Tony Lockett. It was not a bad kick, but just not quite good enough. So Richmond let off the hook a little again. They need to do something. They have Manton now at full back, which is a desperation move because he was playing quite well on the forward line. Grant in the seat. Good mark over the small Rioli. He has Daryl Cunningham free. Bad defence by Richmond, very loose up there. And Daryl Cunningham now has a chance a little bit further round from where Lockett had his kick a couple of minutes ago. They know this Moorabbin ground well. Cunningham's 8th kick. Did it badly. But that wasn't done badly. There's a top mark to Lockett. That's his 4th mark, the big fella. And as St Kilda rise above their very lowly position on the ladder, both this year and into the future, he's a player that they should be looking to. He's on a very acute angle, but to a top full forward, he should be able to find a way to sneak this one through. Going for the drop punt. But on that occasion, it wasn't good enough.
So 2 goals, 2 to Tony Lockett, Barry. But St Kilda's accuracy is pretty good. 12-6 now, 78. Richmond 5-7, 37. Strawn now taking that kick off over onto the outer flank. Craig Smith coming down to take the mark. Greg Burns standing that mark. Umpire Carey calls play on. I think he was going to award a 15-metre penalty had he not taken that kick. And Strawn, following up his kick-off from fullback, takes the mark at the 50-metre line. St Kilda double Richmond's score, plus a few points to spare. Pickering been very quiet. Rollings tried his veteran's heart out. Yes, St Kilda 78, Richmond 37, 18 scoring shots to 12. And that's at the 12-minute mark of this 3rd term. Very muddy conditions at Moorabbin, but it's been fine for the match. Very sunny conditions. Barker, I thought, really very slow to get rid of the ball. Eustace and Narkle battling for possession, and umpire Carlin, who seems to be the focal point amongst these 2 umpires. Peter Carey is his colleague here, but umpire Carlin really the centre of attention for most of the day. Grant, ruck roving nicely. Mark taken by Rene Kink. He's a battler. Really has battled on well. Looking for Lockett. Overrun by Strawn. Lovell, dispossessed. Didn't have the football, as a matter of fact. And he takes the free kick. Former Collingwood player takes this free about 35 metres out from goal for his 7th kick. And that scoreline still shows St Kilda 78 playing Richmond 37.
Lovell in the left back pocket. The ball well, strongly. Kink in front. Picked up by Darryl Cunningham, one of St Kilda's best players. Narkle kicks the ball strongly. Lockett had a golden opportunity. Burns spoilt by Cunningham. Oh, may have been a lucky free kick. Lovell not happy. They don't change their minds too often, these umpires. We now have Burns with a great opportunity to kick with his 10th kick of the game. And he's been a fine player for St Kilda this afternoon. This is one they really need. And disappointment again, David. He certainly frittered away some opportunities in this last 5 minutes. I suppose that's one of the reasons why sides in the lower part of the competition have a lot of difficulty in just winning that one.
Yes, it must be that end of the ground, the South Road end, because Richmond were most inaccurate. 4 or 5 shots from close in went astray, if not out of bounds on the full in the second quarter. Now there's Tomei, but Tomei's mark intercepted, or the kick intercepted by a courageous Maurice Rioli, going into the swarm of players there. Nice mark. But Tomei's been a grand player. Maurice Rioli fairly quiet, 9 kicks only. Big fellows fly. Well done, Wow Jones against Mark Lee. Knocked out of play. The pursuer was Eustace, fine collector of the ball for Richmond this season. Big fellows. Number 10, if you can't see it, is Wow Jones against Mark Lee. Ania starting to lift his play a bit, hugging the boundary line though. That could be very close to out of play on the full. Gary Fangalis takes the mark and it's been paid. Former Swan. Deep out there. Only his 4th kick. And pretty quiet. Jess, short of centre half forward. Waitman going past within the 50-metre line. Hand pass to Eustace. Eustace will fire for goal from here. Going to land in the square instead. Flyers are wanted. Who's on the ground? Gamble didn't have the ball. And a pack converges on top. And there'll be a bounce about 20 metres out. So, clear 7-goal margin St Kilda's way. The halfway mark of the 3rd term. 79-37. 12-7 to 5-7.
Simon Clark an opportunity to kick for goal, but he can only manage 1 point. Not a bad effort from the big fellow all the same. Shows a lot of promise to Simon Clark. We see McConville with the ball at full back. Sorry, Nixon. He hits that one very nicely. Too slow, Terry Smith. Notting also too slow. The strength of King. Flips it out. Taken by a running Cunningham. Bad disposal. Lockett in front of Strawn. Strawn tackles well. Cunningham follows up. Tomei. Chance for Burns, not able to take it. Strawn runs on now with his left foot, being pursued by Barker. Kicks the open spaces. Rene Kink in possession. Does it well, the big fella. Walks like a small man. And a strong left foot kick. Frawley had a chance. Manton desperate. The veteran Rollins with a quick kick. Very experienced play. And he puts the ball out on the half-forward flank area for St Kilda. The throw-in. Clark, Rollings, running a near. The player they need, a near. Rioli. The poor disposal, uncharacteristic. St Kilda into attack again.
Was Jobling. Interception there by Terry Smith. Bauer comes out wide. Richmond looking a little better now. A hand pass on from Geary, finds Eustace. Greg Burns in the hands of trainers. Barry down in the forward pocket after flying for that mark a couple of minutes ago, as Geary might fire for goal from here. Hand pass instead. Pickering, he's met heavily. And as a consequence, his kick goes across the face of goal. See if we can pick up Greg Burns shortly, but he's okay. He really did clash very heavily with a pack of players, 3 Richmond players, might I add. We're back with the action at the other end of the ground. St Kilda, fine defence, jobbling again. Back towards centre field. Frawley can't pick it up. Beautiful, Darryl Cunningham. Rene King from now within 50 metres. Shot for goal. Can't cap it off, though, out of play on the full. His 12th kick, but gee, he's moving well. Look at the big fella. He loves it, doesn't he?
He's played a good game, in fact. King, his players now transferred, and we see a free kick going to Cunningham. They've had a lot of opportunities in Kilda. This is Cunningham's 11th kick. He's limped a little, but I'm sure it'll feel a lot better if he can kick this goal.
Incidentally, Jeff Cunningham playing his 150th? No, wrong player. Sorry, Greg Strawn. Take it back. Forget it, Barrett.
This is one that they really need again. Oh, runs across the face of goal, tried to hook it in. As an old full forward, I think it's reasonable to say he should be running straight at the goal and trying to kick straight through the ball.
Yes.
He has some excuse with an injured knee. Luck's of fortune. You see Narkle has actually made his presence felt since he's come onto the ground. He won't kick many heavier balls than this, brought up in Western Australia. Stabs at it. Oh, and once again kicks badly. As I said before, one of the problems with St Kilda, they've been in winning positions during the game or during the year. They get themselves in a winning position, they don't seem to be able to go on with it.
There's the 150 game man, Greg Strawn. He's given Richmond great service. We mentioned Jeff Cunningham, who's still limping over there at half forward, just out of picture at present, might come into this action, but Jeff, of course, has played more than 150, 184 now as we check the record. Well, St Kilda beyond the 7-goal margin in front now. Beautiful knockout by Wow Jones to Gary Hodges. It's coming back, Lockett. Offhand, though, well done, Strawn, frustrating and keeping right on Lockett there. But still, that scoreboard mounts for St Kilda. Jeff Cunningham signalling to the trainers he's in trouble. 21 possessions to Cunningham. Been a grand game by him. Be a shame if St Kilda lose him. But the trainers really being called for, and the doctor coming out as well. Kick off by Strawn now. Scoreline shows St Kilda 81 to 38. And we mentioned earlier this quarter that Richmond, only 2 games outside the 5 prior to today, certainly had to win to keep with the top company, and it's been a great effort by St Kilda. 21 minutes gone in this third term. Cunningham okay for the moment, but he's behind the pack. Terry Smith, who spent a couple of seasons here at St Kilda after transferring from Richmond, now back with the Tigers. Kicks down in the direction of half-back. Eustace, tackled by Jobling, who's worked hard, Andrew Jobling. And the St Kilda fans very, very happy. So too is Jeff Cunningham, who might be coming off now. And this will let Big Ford come on for his first run for the afternoon. Here comes Joffa. You can hear the applause. Danny Frawley can't get rid of it. Not successfully anyway. Rawlings takes it. There's the applause for Jeff Cunningham. He's in all sorts of bother with that leg. Geary, oh, beautiful tackle. Loses possession. And the tackler was Peter McConville. No, it wasn't. Andrew Jobling again. He's playing above himself today, playing a grand game. Looking for Burns. High goes Lovell, and behind is Smith. Smith takes it. St Kilda still 81. Richmond 38, 22 minutes gone.
Kick by Smith. Finds Terry Smith. Not sure what to do with it. Elects the handball. Goes to a running Lovell. Long handball out to John O'Neill. O'Neill on the left foot. Well, he won't be very happy with that one, John O'Neill, and neither will his coach. A golden opportunity. St Kilda in turn go long to Tomei. Well-placed kick. Tomei onto his left foot. Young misses it. Taken by Burns. Lockett in position to mark. And it does so. That's his 5th mark, Tony Lockett. Oh, and he's a strong player. Now St Kilda have frittered away many opportunities up forward. One would hope that the full forward the so-called professional goal kicker in the outfit, should be able to put this one through. Taking a lot of time. This time it's a goal. That's his third. And St.Kilda go further ahead. 13 goals 9 to 5 goals 8. Opens up a pretty good margin of 8 goals 1. It's going to be very hard for Richmond to come back. Umpire Carlin with the ball. Clark in against the tireless Wow Jones. Taken by Waitman, but the ball's held to him, and we'll see another bounce up. This time by umpire Carey. Clark, the big leaper. Knock on goes to Frangalis. Good hands to Geary. Geary's kick to the big fella in Lee, and his captain hasn't let him down.
Only his third mark for the day, Barry.
Never been a high percentage marker of the ball, if that's the word to use, David. The big fellow, really, I think that his career has been a little bit marred by his inability to take that big mark around the ground. But there's nothing wrong with that kick. And that's his second goal. And that's a real good captain's goal. With his fifth kick of the game. Lee is a player that they desperately need to play well. He's an inspiration to the Richmond side, and his form this season has really been a bit indifferent.
That came at the 25-minute mark of this term. Mark Lee, five kicks, 3 marks for the day, 2 goals. So St Kilda's margin after that goal by Mark Lee reduced to 43 points, and it's still a very healthy break as Rioli takes Richmond out of the centre, looking there for the high flyers. Frangalis was up high, perhaps spoilt the run by Jim Jess at centre-half forward to come in. A little bit haphazard with their forward play, the Tigers. Very muddy conditions, as you can see, and umpire Carlin says on this occasion that he'll throw it up in the air. Jones dominating the rucks. Frangalis forward he goes. Good mark taken in defence. Gamble. No, it wasn't Gamble. I think it might have been Nixon that time. In any event, the Saints go towards centre wing. Narkle. Grant. Well done, Collins. Too slow. Lovell. Good tackle. Grant again. Has nowhere to go. And umpire Carey allowing play to go, and I think the umpires made up their mind at the first bounce that under these muddy conditions they'd have to give the players every opportunity. St Kilda 87, Richmond 44 into the time-on period of this third quarter.
Frawley took the knockout on that occasion. Quick kick out by Smith. Alistair forward with his first touch. Not helped by the condition. Oh, a very definite throw there. A little bit undisciplined from St Kilda. They had a chance to be off and running. We now see Geary with the ball. Eustace free in the centre. Unsure as whether to play on. Kicks towards Pickering, but the experience of McConville. He's a fine player, McConville. Been a great player with Carlton and now St Kilda, with his 7th mark. Notting felt that one around the ears. Been a fairly tough game out here at Moorabbin. He plays on, looking for Geary. Unable to take it. Perhaps a little fortunate to get a free kick. Not much movement on Richmond's forward line, but there's a short kick going into big Simon Clark. Clark looking for the running Lee. But it's taken by Tomei, who's played a fine game today. That's his 8th mark, in fact. Should go long. Heavy ball drops. Once again, we see Clark doing well on the, Smith doing well.
Darryl Cunningham in the hands of trainers. Brother Jeff left the field just a couple of moments ago, and Darryl doesn't look too good with a leg injury as well. Back to centre-half forward, Richmond. umpire Carlin, allowing plenty of opportunity for this ball to come out of the smother. And fans of both sides, fairly sparse over there on the outer flank. Darryl on the ground now, quite obviously, but in trouble with that left leg of his. And it won't be long before he's replaced by limping brother Jeff. So the Saints really in a spot of bother here with injuries, and it looks far worse. That leg of Darryl's might be the right leg as we look at it now. Siren sounds for another very good turn by the Saints, in which they added 3 slogging goals against Richmond's 1. And at three-quarter time, the margin 87-44 is 43 points in St Kilda's favour. Saints fans, most important week in the club's history. Tremendous backing this week by St Kilda supporters of their team and the club, and they can sense victory down here today. They lead by 43 points at Moorabbin against Richmond. They led by 17 at quarter time, by 26 at half time, and then another 17-point addition to that break to 43 at three-quarter time. Eustace tries to send Richmond forward. Clever play by Wow Jones, but the interception there by Craig Smith. On in the direction of Frangalis. Now to Rioli off hands. Rioli towards full forward. Oh, well done by Gamble. Out of defence, but the interceptor's there. And the mark taken over there by Geary. Quickly on to Frangalis. Into the play, Notting. Here he comes now. Snapshot for goal, but offline. Notting moving across very quickly from the pocket to lead out there. Was good football, but just couldn't quite cap it off. First score in the last term, but my word, Richmond really have some work to do here. St Kilda lead 87, just under double Richmond's score 45. That's after 60 minutes of this last term.
Gamble with the ball. There's a lead which is successful with Darryl Cunningham. Young fumbles, it recovers. Jobling, been a good player. Crawley in front. Terry Smith for Richmond, looking for someone to kick it to. Out towards Geary, who doesn't let him down. Rioli slips in the centre. Geary again. Tough work by St Kilda. Waitman's sleight of hand, but unsuccessful. St Kilda go forward again, but Lovell chops this one off. Left-hand handball goes to Craig Smith. Richmond fooling around. Ball goes to Frawley, to Burns, and he's put it through. That's a very important goal for the Saints, which brings their score on to 14 goals, 9. That was Burns' 12th kick and his 3rd goal. That was the one that St Kilda needed, and it really makes Richmond's job a very tough one at this stage. They need some of the big guns firing, Richmond. A lot of their good players like Anir and Waitman, Lee, have had very ordinary performances, and it's told on the scoreboard.
8-goal break to St Kilda now, and that could just about nail the coffin for Richmond. Strong play too there, Barry, by Rene Kink, resulting in the last goal for the Saints. He really paddled the ball out strongly to Greg Burns. Gary Odgers gets it on to McConville. McConville goes long and wide. John Collins. Collins at centre wing in front of this rather feverish grandstand now. The Saints supporters will bring it down if their team can come home. Frawley. Now this has been one of the top moves of the day by coach Graham Jelly, putting Frawley at centre half forward, away from his normal spot at full back. He's taken 4 strong marks there, looking for full forward Lockett. The ball's high. Lockett, the run at it. Bad play, Strawn, in your 150th game. He just allowed Tony Lockett an easy 5-metre run at the ball in the last analysis, and he too is marked in the main very strongly, but didn't have to do much for that one. However, Tony Lockett, 3 goals. He's marked 6 times today and lining up for goal number 4. Does not have to move. Such was the accuracy of Tony Lockett with his 7th kick. 4 goals too from that is great percentage from the big fellow, and the margin 9 goals St Kilda's way.
Well, full forward should snap those ones up from that distance, and Lockett didn't let his side down. He's looked a very good player today, Tony Lockett, sometimes been criticised for being a bit slow. We see the ball back in the centre again. Wow, Jones been tireless. Pickering, Bauer, left-hand hand pass, Anir running, fumbles, does well, back to Pickering, to Bauer again. The ball comes back after Waitman looked as though he was running into goal.
Yes, Bauer penalised there for really what was a basketball pass. He really grabbed it in the palm of the hand, according to umpire Brendan Carlin, and threw it away. Jobling, he's been a grand player on half-back. Rene King, what a beauty. Mark number 6 for him, and the big bulky fellow has really turned it on today. David Grant, within scoring distance. Grand football, St Kilda, goal! Second goal to Grant, 10th kick, and aren't the Saints elated? 10 goals the break. Well done, Rene King. Well done, Jobling from half-back.
He's been a marvellous player for them today, Rene King. I think I said earlier he's made a lot of errors, but he's also done a lot of positive things. And that was a beautiful kick to Grant. Gave him the opportunity to run into an open goal and score St Kilda's 16th goal out here at Moorabbin. There's the bounce of the ball again. Favours Clark. Does it well to Eustace. Can't control it. And St Kilda desperately jump in through the agency of Barker. Barker played an extremely good first half where he had 13 kicks. Moved to the forward pocket in the third quarter, and we see him back in the centre. Thrown up on this occasion. Jones interfered with. He's been a great player for St Kilda today, the big fellow, where his strength is telling in the mud. That wasn't so good. Rioli. Frangalis flies. We see the ball come out to McConville. Defending well. Torpedo punt. Dropped by Cunningham with what he perhaps should have taken, but battles on very hard and very well. It was unfortunate to give away a free kick on that occasion. Come on now, Joffa, that's undisciplined play. They've given away a 15-metre penalty. Geary to Clark. They haven't gained much distance. Needs to play on, does so. Pickering, a quiet player, unable to mark. You see Gamble go down, hit behind the head, and will take the free kick. Will go long. Cunningham in the van. Has paid the mark or the free kick, whichever way he has the ball.
12 kicks to Jeff Cunningham. He's been a grand player. Rod Owen lost his first jumper after the first term. Normally number 27, wearing number 60 now. It got very muddy, very dark and very cold, no doubt. That's the reason why the St Kilda mud. We've had no rain during the match itself today, but traditionally after heavy rain that Melbourne has experienced over the last week, St Kilda centre very, very heavy indeed. Wow, Jones, Rioli. Richmond trying to move that ball forward. Darryl Cunningham comes in. Frangalis in pursuit. And Greg Burns marked right on the line. We saw John Anir just a moment ago, and he's been a very quiet player, one of the motivators for Richmond. Not able to get going today. Beautiful play. Phil Narkle beats Craig Smith on a break. In centre half forward. Fine football by the West Australian. Eustace. Barry Rawlings in pursuit. Lovely football by the veteran. Beautifully scooped up. Grant in pursuit of him. 17 kicks, Barry Rawlings. Cunningham. Oh, courageous. Footballers coming the other way. Owen, centre wing, comes back through centre. Now to centre half forward, looking for Frawley. Burns intercepts almost the mark. Eustace goes back the wrong way, but fortunately Notting is there. Goes out between half back and back pocket. Short pass is okay, finds Rawlings. Rawlings comes inboard. And Clark has worked very hard. The big fellow done most of the ruck work at the expense of Mark Lee. Scoreboard, 10 goals the margin. St Kilda 16-9 to 6-9. Waitman. Terry Smith played both that, Richmond and St Kilda. Interception there. Jobling, can't get it cleared. Waitman. Now, Big Manton had 3 goals in the first term, looked a grand play, but had then spent some time in defence as John Collins tries to break clear. Manton's free at the 9-minute mark of the final quarter.
Manton an opportunity to kick a much-needed goal for Richmond.
Only 6 kicks, Barry, after 3 goals in the first quarter.
Yes, he started off well. He's been an improved player for them this season. He needs to kick this to give Richmond some heart. Taking plenty of time. Concentration is good. Kicks the ball strongly, but it's only 1 behind.
Well, Gamble certainly wants to play on very quickly, and away he comes now. Saints have got the smell of victory in their nostrils without any doubt. Collins cleverly palms it away from Rioli, but the line too close. So just under that 10-goal margin. We find a little chap, a little St Kilda supporter, very close to our effects microphone, and he's as enthusiastic as many of the grown-ups here today. Rawlings scouting well. Brad Gotch has been off the ground for most of the second half, in fact all the second half. Nice mark taken over there by Paul Tomei as his 9th for the day. He's been a good player as well. Their defence has been superb. Frawley, he's been at centre-half forward, so they've done it without his services on the back line. Comes away, ran back towards centre as a matter of fact. Off hands, no St Kilda scouts this time. Strawn playing his 150th game, and not one that he'd be proud of. And umpire Carlin comes in, and there'll be a bounce, or at least perhaps a throw up in that muddy section there. 105 plays 46. Last quarter at Moorabbin, 10 minutes gone.
Clark in the ruck for Richmond. Ball comes clear. St Kilda allow Cunningham to go through. Scrambly play. Rolling underneath all that. Cunningham trying to fox for a free kick. There's a couple of veterans there in your screen. Bit of a grin on Cunningham's face, no doubt feeling fairly pleased with the St Kilda performance. Ball thrown up, too muddy to bounce. Clark rucking well to a near handball behind Rioli, but he managed to recover. Jess clear. Didn't do it too well, Big Jimmy. Picked up by Collins, but handballs to Anir. Anir on the run. Has a lead there from Frongalis. Pickering, being a very quiet player, is fortunate on that occasion to get a push in the back, and therefore a free kick to replace Roach. Roach, as we know, has dropped the reserves. Perhaps they could have done with him here today. Short pass is not effective. Badly done, Pickering. Handballed out by St Kilda. Manton. Pickering certainly trying very hard and has been rewarded with a free kick.
Only had kicks today, and they'd be looking for far more from Pickering, wouldn't they?
They certainly would, David. And one does wonder about the wisdom of dropping a known goal kicker in Michael Roach. Although, of course, you've got to make these strong decisions at selection time from time to time. Manton goes short to that man, Pickering. We have an umpire down, but no real damage done.
St Kilda fans say that he impeded the run in at that ball from Gary Hodges, allowing Pickering the easiest of marks, but I don't think Gary would have made it, quite frankly. St Kilda fans cheering and booing at every moment, Barry. Good things done by their team, and umpiring decisions that go their way they think are great. Pickering's kick won't make the distance off hands with the climb by Frongalis, who was a fine mark when he was playing with the Swans, but today's no test of that ability. Now the margin restored to exactly 10 goals again, 16-9, a little less than that, 16-9 to 6-11. Gamble, he's got the bit between the teeth as well. Comes out in the direction of Craig Smith and onto Rioli. That's a high one, but quite obviously unintentional because there's not too much going on between the players. the two West Australians, Rioli and Narkle, tackle. Ball free. Look out, trainer. You get run over there. Beautiful football to May. Onto Jobling. It wasn't Jobling, it was Rick Nixon, and Nixon goes close to the line. You can't count on numbers giving any assistance to commentators today, because most of them are obliterated, particularly those of, say, Wow Jones and players who lurk around the centre. Rioli. Scrambly football. There's Lee now, and Clark takes the mark, gets it on quickly. Smith down towards centre half forward. Oh, McConville. Beautiful judgment from behind, and a 15-metre penalty. I must say that Richmond really have lost the services of one or two players during the day, none more than Trevor Poole, who went off after the first term with an injury. Jobling back towards Burns. Strong mark in front of his opponent in that occasion, Noel Lovell.
Bauer to Rioli, picking up kicks, but hasn't done a lot with them. As is evidenced again by Owen. Has Jobling free. Jobling hit heavily. Advantage rule played. Young, Notty injured. Well, that's a strong mark taken by Terry Smith, who plays on. Manton needs to play the ball on quickly. Does so. We have a running Mark Lee. The big fella has a lead from Clark, but in fact it's taken by Tomei as he chips nicely in front.
There's Dean.
Tomei is 10th mark.
Sorry, mate. Dean Notting there getting the magic spray, but it's one of those accidents where he clashed with Jobling that could quite easily develop into as you'd know, Barry, one of those bad knee injuries where the player's head, say, hits the knee of the player coming past. Now, correct, Geary into the pocket. Well done, Pickering. And not so effective a tackle by McConville. That is right. That should be a 15-metre penalty. McConville very late and rude on the scene. And Pickering certainly now within scoring distance. Only 30 metres out with the heavy ball.
He's not a strong kick, Pickering. He kicked before, not well. Would hope to make ends on this occasion. That one's a better one. And Richmond have a much-needed goal. They go to 7 goals 11, but they're trailing St Kilda on 16 goals 9. The time clock clicking away to about the 16-minute mark. It's been a very lacklustre performance by the Tigers. Perhaps they suffered some letdown after they lost to Footscray last week. But taking away from St Kilda, they've approached this game with ferocity would be the word. They've tackled hard, they've chased hard, they've done all those little hard things that make successful football teams. But they're certainly heading towards their second victory of the season.
Lost ball up the back there. I would think a day like today for the Saints that one of their ardent supporters might have grabbed that one and said, well, that'll do me for the second win. Umpire Peter Carey back in the centre. The Saints still with an ample lead, 52 points, given that it's 17 minutes into the last term. Heading up for their second win. They beat Melbourne earlier this season. Waitman, nice pass, spearing pass to Clark, and that should be paid. Wasn't. Gee, off hands to Bauer. Bauer's flying shot for goal. The St Kilda defender's quite content to see it through for a behind. So the umpires, really a difficult job under muddy conditions always, but they have been a bit inconsistent today as Gamble takes this kick-off from fullback.
It's a torpedo punt. Cunningham flies high, Alistair forward, sloppy handball. Tomei battles hard, has done well. Succeeded in keeping the ball in the packs, which is what St Kilda need to do at this stage. On that occasion, however, they get it out. They're now moving the ball well. Tomei again can afford to take his time just a little as the time clock ticks away.
Taken 11 marks.
Now using the ball well, St Kilda, their confidence is high, and it goes to Collins, almost marks. After it again, doubles back, kicks over the shoulder, and we see the big fella, Wow Jones, perhaps the most effective St Kilda player on the day, has rucked tirelessly all day against Lee and also Clark. Went down to the forward pocket for a little bit of a rest and has been rewarded for his efforts. May not be the most reliable kick for goal, But things are running St Kilda's way and he should put it through. Not the most reliable kick for the goal. It's gone straight over the goal umpire's hat. And big Wow Jones will be very happy with that effort, as are the crowd out here at Moorabbin, seeing St Kilda perform very well on a heavy ground.
That goal by Warren Jones was St Kilda's 17th from 26 scoring shots. Marvellous shooting under conditions such as we're experiencing at Moorabbin today. Narkle, cleverly, never lost control of that ball, even though he just couldn't quite grab it in. He still had it in his possession. Jones, another one. Another fine, strong mark. It's a day that Greg Strawn would rather forget. Celebrating 150th game really isn't the word to use. Lovely pass to Greg Burns. Well done, Wow. 9th mark to Burns. One of those match-winning moves by the St Kilda Brain Trust. 15 kicks has been the placing of Greg Burns in the forward pocket. Frawley at centre half forward as well. Another fine move, putting the full-back in the key attacking position. Back with Burns, already has 3 goals. And that's straight as well.
He has been a great player for them today, Greg Burns. We're more accustomed to seeing him playing in the centre of the ground, or even ruck roving, but it's been a match-winning move. Very dangerous player, very creative player. And what about the pass from Wow Jones? I'm sure he'll be telling a few of his teammates about that over a quiet beer tonight. Bounce of the ball. Lee in the ruck. Taken beautifully. Darryl Cunningham loses the run of it. Narkle. Great balk. Poor kick. But they still have an opportunity, St Kilda, with through to May. Back to Burns. Rioli. Fine handball to Terry Smith. Terry Smith kicks sloppily out to Bauer. Bauer running, but being retarded, will take the free kick. Oh, poor kick by Bauer. Picked up by Jogling. On the left foot. Narkle. Probably a little lucky to gain the free kick. It was in possession of the ball. There's a glue pot out there. Kink lends some bulk. Narkle's 10th kick, and has had a lot of life at the St Kilda forward line.
Out comes the pencil on the book again. Umpire Carlin picking up Brendan Bauer for abusive language.
Well, I don't know what he said, but it seems to me to be rather trivial free kicks going on out here. Still, Narkle with the ball. Jimmy Jess lagging way behind Frawley. He's been a very good player for them today, Frawley. He's taken marks. He's worked strongly, 6 marks in fact. He's a good kick of the ball. And St Kilda may have found a centre half forward. They're very hard to find, probably one of the hardest positions to play on the ground. And Frawley has acquitted himself very well against an experienced player in Jim Jess. He's a strong kick. His second goal. He certainly didn't kick that like a full-back. St Kilda players elated with their performance. It's been a grand team effort. Many players throughout the side have performed well, performed strongly. Back in the centre again. Umpire Carlin. It's a bounce. Alistair Ford in the ruck. Tap on goes to McConville. Jobling misses a run of it. Back at it again. Short kick out to Narkle, running wild. I don't know who's supposed to be on him. That's a good kick to the big fella. Still working hard, Jones. Goes to a near, handball over the top. Terry Smith tackled hard. Play will be brought back. And we're going to see a throw up. I doubt he'll try and bounce it here in this blue pot. Jones again, strongly. Out to Daryl Cunningham. Has a flying shot at goal. Oh, that's a great mark taken up there. Great mark taken by Frawley. What an excellent game he's had. That's his 7th mark. And a chance to kick his 3rd goal. 10 kicks at centre-half forward. Very hard to find a centre-half forward who can have that sort of influence on the game. But I'm sure that he's been one of the major reasons why St Kilda are steaming to victory at the 25-minute mark. The pick tells the story. That's his 3rd goal. As he jogs back to centre-half forward. Very pleased, no doubt, with his day's work.
Well, there's the victory chant starting already in the background with a 77-point lead. St Kilda, their 2nd win for the season coming up in round 17. The last was round 13 when they defeated Melbourne. Barry Rawlings, none have tried harder than Rawlings for Richmond today. McConville, Gamble, he'll come out wide for Odgers eventually. Jobling in the meantime. Beautifully picked up by Grant. Grant towards centre wing, Terry Smith there. Well done, Burns. Oh, almost steamrolled Daryl Cunningham, his teammate, onto Frawley. They all want to be part of the action. He gets clear, Frawley. Jeff Cunningham, fortunately, has recovered from that leg injury. Narkle. He's going to try and run round. He has. He'll have to kick it quickly. Barker now. Barker into the square. Who's there? Greg Burns juggling with Strawn. Strawn's mark.
Even made hard work of that one, Greg Strawn. He hasn't had the best of days.
Only his 2nd mark at the 26-minute mark of the final term. Amazing accuracy by St Kilda. Lovely scoreboard for them. 29. 20 goals, 9. 129 to Richmond. 7-12-54. Penalty St Kilda's way. Daryl Cunningham always willing to swap a yarn or two. This time with John Anea. 20 kicks for Daryl. No. For Tomei. Okay. Body language. And it's been probably Tomei's best game. Certainly would have to rank amongst them since he joined St Kilda. Frawley edged out by Jess, was good football. Strawn soccer tactics towards the line, looking for Terry Smith. Does it well, then tackled and out of play. Greg Byrne very, very weary.
Terry Smith might rather be at the St Kilda camp this season. Across to Richmond with Tony Jewell, the start of the year. Jones is still rucking well. Kick off the ground. Jess in front, one of the few times of the day. Kicks long as Jim Jess can. But the ball is out of bounds on the St Kilda half-forward flank.
It's reflecting on Paul Tomei again. He's played a senior game this season. 46 since joining the Saints in 1980. So a grand game from him at half-back today. Cunningham out in the direction of Rick Nixon. Nixon towards half-forward, looking for Barker. Barker's there, okay, but so is the pack. And there'll be possibly in that blue pot by umpire Carey a throw in the air. 129 to St Kilda, Richmond 54. And won't the crowd go wild when the siren sounds in a minute or so. 27 minutes gone. Jeff Cunningham, great lead from the front today. Narkle, can't do anything positive about it. Anea. Smith, no, it wasn't Smith, it might have been Bauer. Notting now. Notting has recovered too from that leg injury. Barry Rawlings was Geary that we were looking for a moment ago. Into the centre he goes. Mark Lee can't grab it. Bad tackle by Ford, should have been penalised. McConville holding the ball. Good decision, made no attempt at all. And the free kick will go to Mark Eustace, centre field. St Kilda 129, Richmond 54. 4 goals to Burns and 4 goals to Lockett have led the way with the goal scorers. Terry Smith within scoring distance, fires in towards goal. There's a good mark by Rod Owen, who again has played his part in defence with 6 marks today and 10 kicks. He's done everything asked of him, Rod Owen, no doubt about that, even with his strange number 60 on. Flyers towards centre half forward there, looking for Bauer. Geary again, can't get rid of it. Plenty of opposition though, and very, very tired footballers out there, with the siren about to sound, and St Kilda leading by a mammoth 75 points.
And I think they should savour this moment. St Kilda, they've been lean times for them, but they've certainly acquitted themselves well today. Rawlings on the right foot has played well, Rawlings, but once again we see St Kilda defending well and using the ball well. To May on the left foot, plays on quickly. Narkle does it well, has a panic to run in, elects to kick, goes short, but Lovell chips in. Narkle probably should have bounced the ball. Oh, silly stuff, Noel Lovell. Lucky not to have the ball taken away from him. Frustration. Manton in front, edged out, nodding, and it's all over. And the Saints have had a very fine victory here at Moorabbin. 20 goals 9, 129. To Richmond, 7 goals 12, 54. A very disappointing Richmond, but I'm sure a highly elated Graham Jelly and St Kilda side.